Okay, this video lesson 3 is to talk about the conservations and the conversions of energy. Now, energy cannot be created or destroyed. It only changes from one form to another. So this is an important statement for the principle of conservation of energy. So energy cannot be created, okay, or destroyed. In fact, energy can only change from one form to another. Now, example, which is I'm going to show you how the kinetic energy is change to gravity potential energy, GPE, and then we can see also GPE can change to kinetic energy. This example is to tell you how actually in the system where the kinetic energies and the GPE is interchanged, there's no loss of energy in between. The total of energy is conserved. There just changes in terms of form depending on the situation of the object. Just look at this example. You can take a look at the work example 3, a pendulum system. Okay, a pendulum swing from a ground level to the maximum height. Okay, just look at this is a pendulum, and at the ground level, and then it swings to the maximum height. Example is here. All right. Now, when the pendulum at the minimum height here, this is the minimum height. You can say that actually the kinetic energy is at the maximum, because normally at the minimum height, when you start to swing the pendulum, the speed is the highest. Remember, kinetic energy is affected by the speed of the object. Half times m times v squared. V is the speed. So at this point, the object is moving at the highest speed because you actually use your hand and then you swing the ball at the highest speed. So kinetic energy is at the highest level. Let's assume the kinetic energy, just assumption, is at 200 joules. And then the potential, GPE, gravitational potential energy, is you can assume as 0. Why? Because at this point, the total vertical height at this point is 0, because kinetic energy, potential energy is given by mgh, so that when the h is 0 at this point, remember, at this point there's no vertical height. The ball has not going up yet, so h is equal 0 at this point. So when h is equal to 0, m times g times 0, you get 0 joules. Now as the ball, this ball, right, going up slowly and hit at the midpoint, let's say the ball is here, alright, and you can see there is a distant midpoint, meaning half of the total height. So for example, the total height here, this is the total height, okay, and this is the horizontal level. Okay, so midpoint meaning is half of the total height. Now at midpoint, okay, what happened is at midpoint, the kinetic energy 200 joules will be converted, will be reduced, I would say, rather reduced from 200 to 100 joules, and then the remaining 100 has been converted to gravitational potential energy, so that the total still remains as 200 joules from the beginning. Because from the beginning the total energy is 200 joules, so the total energy is conserved. Okay, alright, and kinetic energy, just the amount is reduced to half, and the other half is gained through gravitational potential energy. Now why there is a gain of GPE and reduce of KE? Because as the ball going up to the midpoint here, here's a midpoint, the speed of the ball will be slowing down. Remember, when the speed slow down, according to the formula, half time m times v squared, when the speed v here slow down, okay, slowing down due to the the gravitational force that is pulling, okay, so when the speed slow down, the Ke amount will reduce as well, okay, and the reductions of Ke, part of the energy amount will be transferred, changed to GPE. Now why there's an increase of GPE? Because according to our formula mgh, okay, if there's an increase in h, in this case increased by half of the total height, so when the h increase, of course there's an increase of the amount of GPE gain. Now let's talk about when the ball is the maximum height. When the ball at the maximum height, okay, the point here is at the maximum height, the GPE is at the maximum, meaning because the h is at the maximum, this is the total height, as you can see, h is the maximum, so that's why the GPE is the maximum, so all the energy is 200 joules. At this point, the Ke is equal to 0. Why? Because the speed is equal to 0. At this point, there's no more speed. The ball at this point stops momentarily before it falls down again, because that's the maximum height. So according to the formula, half times mv squared, when the v equal to 0, half times m times 0, your Ke will be 0. Okay, so you can see the energy is conserved between Ke and GPE. There's no loss of energy. Energy is not destroyed, and energy is not created. New energy, meaning more than 200. Starting is 200, ending is also 200. Okay, so there's no new creation of energy, no any destroy. It just changes from Ke to GPE, from GPE to Ke. All right, that's all for this lesson.